Hello people, welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV. How are we doing? It is game week 5, guys. We are into game week 5. So what we're going to do is just tell you what my predictions are for game week 5 with a few pundits. I've got fewer today. I've got just Chris and Osita who have submitted before this video so we can actually go through it together. But before we do game week 5, let us look at what happened in game week 4. Yeah, let us see the results and how we did as a group. Okay, game week 4, it started off with Arsenal playing Nottingham Forest, and it was a comfortable win for Arsenal, for Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge of Nottingham Forest. And they were well beaten, 3-0 to Arsenal. And we had 4 people amongst us who got the correct score. Well done to Kiki, well done to Chris, well done to Temitayo, and well done to Michael. They all got the correct score for the Arsenal game, and it's interesting, out of those 4 people, 3 of them are Arsenal fans, so well done to them. Bournemouth versus Brighton. Bournemouth winning that one 2-1 in the end, and we had 5 people. Wow, we had 5 people who got the correct score for that one as well. So well done to David, well done to Anu, well done to Chris again, well done to Nyema, and well done to Temitayo. They all got the correct score of 2-1 in that game. But I can guarantee you the next one, no one got the correct score. Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. It finished 0-0. And no one got that score correctly. In fact, it was only Finn who predicted a draw in that game, so he gets points for that. Yeah. Everton versus Aston Villa. Another 0-0 draw. So I don't think anyone predicted that. And yes, I am right. No one did. So no one even... Did anyone predict a draw? Oh, I did. Yeah, I predicted a draw. Osita predicted a draw. And Kiki predicted a draw as well as Michael. So we are the ones who predicted draws in the game, but not a 0-0 draw. I went for 2-2. I know Michael went for 1-1. Kiki went for 1-1 as well. And Osita went for 2-2. So we thought it would be a draw, but not a 0-0 draw. Yeah. Fulham versus Leeds. Fulham Leeds. And Fulham won that one 1-0. A dying minute goal. In fact, it was an own goal, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember. It was an own goal, but they got the win. That's the main thing. And well done to Nyema, because Nyema was the only one who predicted that game to finish 1-0 to Fulham. And that was the final score. Yeah. Okay. Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle winning that one 1-0, and their new signing Walter Madi getting the goal in that game. So he'll be buzzing. He'll be happy with himself. Yep, they won 1-0, and no one predicted a 1-0 scoreline. I think almost everyone predicted a win, but no one predicted a 1-0 scoreline. West Ham versus Tottenham. West Ham losing at home to Tottenham 3-0. And it was a poor game from West Ham, but again, no one predicted that scoreline. A lot of us went for Tottenham to win, but no one put a 3-0 scoreline. Most people went for either a 2-0 or a 3-1. So that's where everyone fell short. Brentford versus Chelsea. And this one finished in a 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw. No one predicted a 2-2 draw. Everyone either went for a high-scoring Chelsea win or just a slim win for Chelsea. but it ended up being a 2-2 draw. So no one's getting points for that. Burnley versus Liverpool. And this one, Liverpool left it late, but they got that winner. They got their winner. They got what they wanted. And there was one person, Finn. Well done to Finn. Finn was the only one who went for a 1-0 win to Liverpool. It's a tough place to go, like the name, Toughmore. But it was only Finn who got that right. Every other person went for a high-scoring win to Liverpool. 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, 3-1, 5-1. But no one actually went for a 1-0, apart from Finn. So well done, Finn. And the last game, the Manchester Derby, Man City versus Man United. Man United losing that one to Man City 3-0. And the final score, no one predicted that correct score. No one predicted. I mean, people went for 3-0, 3-1, 2-0, 4-2. Scores like that, but no one actually went for Man City. Some even went for Man United to win 3-1, 3-0, and you know who those people are, Man United fans. But they were disappointed. And nothing came out of that. So that's the predictions for game week 4. Now let's look at game week 5. We're into a new game week, and a lot of these teams, 6 out of these teams were involved in the Champions League, and they had 4 wins and 2 losses. So not a bad return for the English teams. Newcastle and Chelsea are the ones who lost their games. Newcastle lost to Barcelona and Chelsea lost to Bayern Munich. No shame in those 2 teams, in the teams they've lost to. And well done to Arsenal. They went away to Bilbao, got the job done, 2-0 away from home. Man City winning at home, 2-0 as well. And Tottenham winning at home, 1-0 to Villarreal. And Liverpool, they left it late again, but they got the result. They beat Atletico Madrid 3-2. So let's look at game week 5, how that's going to affect how they play in game week 5. So Liverpool, they are playing their rivals in the Merseyside derby. Liverpool versus Everton. This one's going to be a difficult one because it's an early kickoff as well. The starts of the weekend, Liverpool-Everton. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. And Liverpool, I think, will win this one. They have to. They have to keep that momentum going. I know they've been winning games with last-minute goals lately, but they have to change that. Otherwise, they're going to come up stuck in one of these games, and it will be where other teams will be hoping to capitalize. So this one, I see them winning 3-0. I've gone for a Liverpool win, 3-0. Osita has gone for Liverpool to win 3-1. And Chris has gone for it to be a tighter game and for Liverpool to win 3-2. Interesting. We'll see how that one goes. Okay. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Remember, Newcastle has been involved in Europe and they played just yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how they come up in this game, and a Saturday, I think it's a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. So that's why I'm going for them to lose this one, because they might not be ready against a very well-organized Bournemouth side. So I'm going for Bournemouth to win 2-1. Chris thinks it will be Bournemouth winning 3-1. But Osita thinks Newcastle might have enough to steal a draw, to come out of this game with a 2-2 draw. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. Okay. Brighton versus Tottenham. Brighton, Tottenham. Again, Tottenham has been involved in Europe, so I'm always worried about these teams when they've just finished an European game, how they are able to recover quickly and get themselves ready for, especially if you're playing on a Saturday, not a Sunday, because a Sunday means you've got like that extra day rest. But if you're playing on a Saturday, it means you're only training Thursday, Friday, and you're back if you played on a Wednesday. So that's why it's going to reflect on my prediction. I'm going for Tottenham to draw this one. They'll probably have enough, but not able to win the game. So I'm going for Tottenham to draw 2-2 in this game. And I've gone for 2-2, but Osita thinks Tottenham should have enough in the bag to win the game. And he's gone for Tottenham to win 2-1 away from home. Chris even thinks they'll do much, much better. He thinks they would win 3-1 away from home. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Burnley versus Nottingham Forest. So Nottingham Forest were also involved in a game midweek. They had a Carabao Cup game where they eventually lost, and they lost it in not so nice a form because they were winning 2-0 and they lost to Swansea 3-2. So Ange has had 2 games and hasn't registered a win yet. But still early days. He's still getting to know how his players function. So this one will probably be a difficult test because Burnley, they've been doing really well at home. They've been unlucky twice now against Liverpool and against Man United, where they've had late penalties decide the game. So this one is a less, no disrespect to Nottingham Forest, but it's not as a difficult game as they would say the Liverpool game was. So you would imagine they would want to try and win this one. And that is why I'm going for Burnley to beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. Yeah. Chris thinks it will be a draw, 2-2. And Osita thinks that Nottingham Forest will have enough to win this game and they would win it 3-1. We'll see. Okay. West Ham versus Crystal Palace. West Ham versus Crystal Palace. West Ham haven't started the season very well. They've got that good result against Forest, but after that, they've been shipping in goals. So you would imagine this game, they would try to address it differently. I'm hoping they try to. So that is why I am thinking this game will be a draw against Crystal Palace. It'll be a high-scoring draw. Don't ask me why I think so, but I think it'll be a high-scoring draw. And I'm going for a 3-3 draw. One of them ones where goals just keep coming. So I'm going for a 3-3 draw. And Osita thinks it will finish 2-1 to Crystal Palace. And Chris also thinks it will finish 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Interesting. Okay, Wolves versus Leeds. Wolves, their manager has just signed a new 3-year contract. That's amazing, You have to look at it that the board really is giving him time to do what he needs to do with the team. He came in December last season and was able to help them through to the end of the season. They were 19th, remember, when he came in, and he was able to guide them to safety, although they finished 16th, so they were not too, but at least they were safe. That's the main thing. They were safe. And they've given him a contract now to see him carry on with what he needs to do. But it's interesting because they sit bottom 20th in the table, but they've given him that vote of confidence by giving him this new contract. So, yeah, he is going to lead them to a win today, this weekend, I believe. That would boost everyone in the squad. And I see them beating Leeds United. It might be a higher scoring game, but I've gone for 1-0 to Leeds. I've gone for 1-0 to Leeds. Osita has gone for 2-1. And Chris has gone for 2-1. Yeah. Manchester United versus Chelsea. That's a big game. A big game. And obviously Chelsea lost to Bayern in the Europa and the Champions League. So it'll be interesting to see how they address this one. Because it was funny, they rested players against Brentford to make sure they don't lose against Bayern, but they ended up losing to Bayern and not beating Brentford. So they might take that anger out on Man United. But Man United, on the other hand, they're at home, so you would expect them to win their game. They haven't started well as well, but you expect them to win. But I don't think they will. I'm going for Chelsea to beat Manchester United away from home 2-1. And Osita thinks the same. He thinks Manchester United would lose to his team, Chelsea, 3-1. And Chris even thinks higher, that Chelsea will beat Man United 4-2. Interesting. Fulham versus Brentford. Fulham versus Brentford. Fulham, they haven't started the season so great. And Brentford, they've been doing okay. They'll be buoyed by that result. They played in the midweek game as well, the Carabao Cup, and they went through. I think they went through on penalties. So they'll be happy with that result. And I still think, though, that Fulham will do the job at home. It might be a very slim win. I'm going for a 2-1 win to Fulham. Osita thinks it will be a draw, 1-1. And Chris thinks Fulham will beat Brentford comfortably, 3-1. Yeah. Sunderland versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa are the only club in the Premier League who hasn't registered a goal in the Premier League, They haven't scored a goal in 4 games. I mean, they scored a goal in the Carabao Cup, which they ended up still going out, but they scored a goal. But in the Premier League, they haven't registered a goal yet. And the way it's going, I see this game as the game where they have to step up and try and get some goals on board, and better still, winning the game, because they need to get wins on the table as well. They're languishing right at the bottom. But I see this one, Aston Villa beating Sunderland 2-1 away from home. Villa winning 2-1. And we all share the same sentiment, because Chris has gone for 2-1 as well to Villa, and Osita has gone for 3-2 to Villa. Yeah. Okay, the big one, the star game of the weekend. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Big game. Both involved in the midweek in the Champions League, but Arsenal might have an advantage because they played on Tuesday and Man City didn't play till Thursday. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. But I'm going for an Arsenal win. I'm hoping the boys turn up, because if they do, they should win this game. And I've gone for Arsenal to beat Manchester City 3-0. Arsenal to beat Man City 3-0. Osita thinks it will finish in a 2-2 draw. And Chris thinks Arsenal will beat City 4-0. I'll be happy if that comes up, Overjoyed if that comes up. But we'll wait and see. How that one pans out. Okay, thank you guys. Let us know your own predictions in the comment section. Yeah, whatever you think the game should be. amongst what we have predicted. If you disagree with anyone, don't forget to leave a comment and we will tell you, okay, why we have gone for what we've gone for. Right? Thank you for joining us, and I shall see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.
Don't check this.